Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul. I am the infrastructure nerd, and you are lucky enough to be here for our March 2018 PracticeMaster virtual user group meeting, where today we are talking about journal encoding, which basically means making the emails that you put in PracticeMaster not look weird. And Mary Jo's going to take that topic, and I'm going to talk about how to push things out to all users. Filters, QuickViews, column layouts, stuff like that. Without further ado, I am going to, and Mary Jo, I just realized that I did not open up the not for resale copy of PracticeMaster. So you want to tell them a lawyer joke while you're waiting?
I'm not very good at lawyer jokes.
There's dirty lawyer jokes. The lawyer fell in the mud puddle. Okay, hold on one second. I should probably be concentrating instead of trying to make jokes. Here we go. We're signing into PracticeMaster as Ron. Take it away, Mary Jo.
Okay. So what Paul is talking about, with the encoding, when he said that, you're probably going, what? Journal encoding? I don't want to do any encoding. That's not what we're talking about. Whenever you journal an email into PracticeMaster, it puts a copy of that email in the journal record for whatever matter you journal it under, and then any attachments and all that. We know that. But when we go to look at it, sometimes when we look at an email, it just doesn't look right. It's not like what we saw in Outlook. It's totally different. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to find an example here with Michael Larson. And we're going to go into his matter here. And I'm just going to go over to his journal file. And we're going to go into email. And I have an email stored out here from, I think it's a Facebook one right here. So I'm going to look at this for a second. And let me go into that one. And is this the one? Yeah. So when we look at this email here, it's just a bunch of text. And it's doesn't look anything like when I saved it. It was a nice, pretty box, and it was all, organized, and I saw this, and here it's just kind of like a big text dump. And sometimes when we save an email, there's even like weird characters and funny stuff in it. So when we go to look at it in PracticeMaster, it's not even close to what we saved from Outlook. It looks just very weird. So what we can do to change this and actually have it look like we saw it in Outlook is there's a little setting that we can change. So if we go up here under maintenance, and then we go into our preferences and go over to email preferences. So maintenance, preferences, and then email preferences. We have some settings in here that a lot of people don't even know exist. And right here, we have one that says allow HTML when viewing, replying to email journal records. So I'm going to check that box, and then I get this confirmation. It's sending a warning to me, and I need to accept this.
Well, let me jump in. I'm the scary warning guy, so I'm going to actually move this away. What it's telling you here is if you didn't decide to enable this checkbox, be aware that PracticeMaster has no control over what happens when Internet Explorer is invoked because of active content in an email. So what is active content? What does this mean? Well, first off, you've seen this automatically download images from the internet. You've opened an email and you've seen the images displayed as like a red X with a box around it. And you know that if you right-click on that and choose download images or download pictures, then the email looks like it should. It's got the pictures in it. And that's what this does. But this extra stuff that they're warning about is other stuff that would interact with Internet Explorer. When you're looking at an email like that, what you're about to discover is a Facebook birthday reminder email. When you're looking at that email and it's nice and pretty, it's using a web language called HTML, and that HTML language can have what we call active content. Now, you know that active content, well, you may not know it as active content, but you know that things can be bad in emails and they can cause viruses to be installed without your even knowing them. And so what this is doing is it's warning you that once PracticeMaster surrenders control of what's displayed in this box back here to Internet Explorer, it no longer has any control. Internet Explorer, though, does. So if you've set your Internet Explorer security settings in such a way as to keep these active content elements from web browsing from being a problem, then that will translate through to PracticeMaster. PracticeMaster is merely warning you that by telling it to do this, you're saying, hey, use Internet Explorer for this thing instead of your own text box. And what PracticeMaster is saying is, I can't be responsible for anything Internet Explorer does. Should you worry about that? Well, let's think about that for a second. The things that you are journaling are emails that you have received from people that you know. They are not emails that are trying to convince you that you've received a fax or that you have an Amazon package or that a delivery was missed or any of the other spam phishing emails that you get that are trying to get at your computer. So as long as you're not taking spammy emails and putting them into PracticeMaster, this should not concern you. Okay, I'll get down off my soapbox and Mary Jo can go back to explaining.
I'm just wondering if Paul reads all of those except the terms policy things on his, that pop up, because he seems to know a lot about all these things. But I'm one that just goes, okay, yeah, accept, no problem. But it is good to know what that is and why that's popping up, and not to be alarmed. It's not something super, super scary, but what it's saying is that, what Paul said. So. Now something else, like Paul was talking about, is those images that come in that automatically have that X through them, and I have to actually click on it to say download those images. Well, I'm just going to tell PracticeMaster, yeah, just go ahead and automatically download those images from the internet, because I don't have to click on it later. Again, it's a trusted source. I know where this is coming from. I want to do that. So these are the two that I would allow. Allow the HTML when viewing and replying to email journal records, and also automatically download the images. And then, okay, so for the snapshot, we haven't gotten there yet, but when we look at an email in the snapshot, we also can get all those funky characters and things like that. So right now I'm in the email view, okay, so I'm viewing, or if I could reply to it or whatever, I'm seeing this weird view. But if I were out on my list, at the bottom of my snapshot, this would also look kind of funky. So I want to also say use the enhanced email view for the journal snapshot as well. So that way if I'm just hovering on my list, I'll see that email how it should be. And now I'm going to say okay. Now I'm going to get out of this particular journal record, and I'm showing you down here, this is the snapshot, and see how it still looks really funky here. It's still weird. And then we're going to go ahead and get onto another page and then come back to email. And then I'm going to go back to my Facebook one. And here it is. And now look at my snapshot. Now I've got that nice Facebook logo. Here's the format that it was supposed to have when I saved it. Now I can see that email message exactly how it was when I saw it in my Outlook box. If I click on that email to see it here, again, it's replaced that box with the nice view. And instead of all that text dump of all those fields and things that it had all mixed up, now I get to see this nice, pretty email that I was expecting to see when I saved it. So let's just review one more time. We're going to maintenance. We're going down to preferences, over to email preferences, and we're checking the allow HTML. We're accepting the warning that pops up. We're going to say automatically download the images, and then we're also going to use the enhanced email viewer for the snapshot. And then say okay. Again, when you get out of that window, those settings will apply. So I've closed out the journal record completely. So I'm getting off of that email tab. Click on something else and come right back, and that will apply those settings for you. Paul?
And it's nice to know, as we just demonstrated, that you didn't have to do this before you journaled the email.
Right.
As we just saw, we took an email that was messed up, we changed this setting, we looked at it again, and all of a sudden it's looking
So going backwards, Paul's right. You, once you set those settings and you come back in, they're going to change for any past emails that you've done, and any future emails that you do will already have those settings, and you don't have to go in there every time. It's a one-time, turn it on, and then you're good to go. Now this is a user setting, so this is something that you will need to do on each workstation for each user, because each user has your own settings. So when you're, when we're showing this, it's not just one person turns it on for everyone. Each user will need to go into that setting and change it for themselves.
That's right.
Huh?
And speaking of each user versus all users, there are a lot of cool things that you can do over here in this Quick Clicks pane. Like you can manage your QuickViews, you can manage your filters, you can manage your column layouts. Neat stuff going on that you have the ability to customize. For instance, I can come into the column layout, which I moved up to the top of mine for some reason there. No, actually it's in the bottom. We're in sample data. And I can go into manage column layouts and I can create a whole new column layout. I'm going to double click there or right click and choose new. And I can create a new column layout. I can say, well, I want the date, I want the description, and that's all I want. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to talk about this. Now, you will always see this, even if you don't have the right to do it. It will either be displaying in all its glory, like it is here, with me able to check it, or it will be displaying, but it'll be grayed out and I won't be able to check it. If you go into column layout or any of the other places where show for all users will show up, filters, QuickViews, mostly in the things over here on the right, they will also have this show for all users. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it's kind of obvious. If I don't check that and I save it, I have a column layout called whatever I called it, new column, because I didn't really name it, and it shows just the date and the description. Very cool. Okay, if Mary Jo logs in as her user in this copy of PracticeMaster, she will not see that. But if I simply go in here, edit this, and check the show for all users, and I'm going to give it a name. I can't stand it. Then were Mary Jo to go in and look at her column layouts, she would be able to see this and she would be able to check it. Now, that presents a problem, sort of, because it's an all or nothing thing. I personally, and I think Mary Jo feels this way too, and just about everybody that's done this, think that we need a better way to manage some of these things on a user by user basis. But we don't have that. So right now, if I turn it on for all users, everyone's going to see it. And maybe not everyone needs it. Maybe some people will be confused by it and will do wrong things just because it's there. So how do you keep it from showing up on certain users while still letting other users have access to it? Well, it's not the best solution in the world, but I can log in as the people that I don't want to see this. I can come into this Manage Quick Clicks area, and I can right-click on Paul's sample, and I can say Hide, okay? So where Mary Jo said just a minute ago that you need to go around to each user and log in as them and make this setting that she demonstrated for the emails, what I'm saying is that as long as you do this when those people aren't logged in, if you sit at your computer and go into PracticeMaster and log in as each of these people, provided you know how to get in there as each of these people, you can simply go hide whatever you don't want them to see, log back out, and they'll never even see it, even though it's there for all users. So that's an important consideration. Whether you log in from your desktop to each user or you go around to each computer and just jump into their PracticeMaster and hide those, that's neither here nor there. But it's important to understand that when you are using this display for all users or show for all users, that it's all users or just you. There is no in between other than hiding them. One area that this presents some challenges, in my opinion, is in the quick clicks or the QuickViews. You might develop some QuickViews for a certain team in your firm, maybe a team of 10 people out of the 40 that use PracticeMaster. And your choices are either to go to each of those 10 people and define those QuickViews over and over and over again, or to do it once, make it all users, and then simply go into all 30 other users and hide them. Not the best solution, but as long as you're aware of the consequences and of making something available for all users, it's manageable. That's that. I do, again, want to emphasize that version 16 is being sunsetted in June. So how to tell if you have version 16, you go into Help, About, and it doesn't have to be PracticeMaster. You could be in Tabs or AP or GL or Trust. And the very first thing it's going to tell you is what version you have, as well as what level: Platinum, multi-user, Platinum SQL, single user. It's this number that you're concerned with. That's your version number. As I said before, we are on version 18.1. That's the version that we're running here for sample data. that is the latest version from the Tabs 3 PracticeMaster folks. If you are on version 16.1.2.3, I can't remember how many versions of 16 there were. If you're on any of them, they will all be sunsetted come June 1st. Now, if you're on maintenance and you're still running version 16, all you need to do is update that version 18.1. We can do it for you. You can do it yourself by just clicking on help and saying check for updates. You need to know how to do this. So if you're not familiar with running an update, you can check for them, you can download them, but if you're in Platinum, for instance, and you're not doing it from the server, you may run into trouble. So don't just go in there and do it, but that is how you update the software if you need to. If you're on version 16 and you're not on maintenance, well, you're already used to the fact that you're not getting support directly from STI, you're not getting the updates offered to you, you're not getting the ability to trade up, all the good things you have with maintenance. But it will be very difficult to upgrade your software past version 16 once 16 is sunsetted. It'll still be possible, it'll just be harder because of the fact that you're now trying to update a sunsetted product. So whether you're on maintenance now or not, it's time to consider getting off of version 16. Now, of course, it wouldn't be one of our webinars without me taking you to attorneycomputersystems.com. Notice that emphasis on that last S in the word systems, because without it, you won't get to the right place. Once you're there, you can click on videos, and you will be taken to a page where you will see a description of all 6 of our video titles. 4 of them are live events. 2 of them are pre-recorded titles, pre-recorded series. You are currently in the PracticeMaster Virtual User Group meeting. We actually have 3 VUGs, Virtual User Group meetings, PracticeMaster, Tabs, and World Docs. They all occur usually on the last Monday of the month. We also have our Coffee Pot webinar series, which is starting back up after a brief hiatus in April. And that's another live event. Of course, you know what the Virtual User Group meetings are. You're in one right now. The Coffee Pot webinars are where I will invite someone from a company that offers an add-on product that enhances the value of either Tabs or PracticeMaster or World Docs. I'll bring somebody in from that company. We'll talk for a while and have them show us all the great things about their add-on product. And that's what we do in the Coffee Pot webinars. We also have our 2 pre-recorded shows, the eBite video series, where Mary Jo does 3 of these each month, 1 on Tabs, 1 on PracticeMaster, 1 on World Docs. They're short 2-3 minute videos where we take something really cool that we know we can explain very succinctly in 2 or 3 minutes, and we record a 2 or 3 minute video about it. We also have our longer format Paul and Mary Jo show, where either I or Mary Jo will take a broader topic and spend 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes going into great detail about all the intricacies of that particular topic. If you click on one of these, you will find a description of what it is right there. If it's a live event, you'll find information on the next occurrence, the next meeting, if you will, with 2 links to register that both take you to identical places. It's just some people like to see what they're clicking on. As you scroll down, you will find the pre-recorded versions of everything else we've ever done. This is the one we're in right now, so it's currently in post-production. Obviously, it's not up there yet. But as we get down further, we see pre-recorded links to videos that cover everything we've ever covered. There are virtually 1,000 videos on our website, all dealing specifically with Tabs, PracticeMaster, or World Docs. You can even search by simply typing something into this box and hitting enter, or choosing something from the short list that pops up immediately and then going to whatever it is that you're looking for. So these are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Please take advantage of them. That's what they're there for. Everybody have a good rest of the day and a good rest of the month. We will see you in April. Thanks much. Bye-bye.